Ever stop to think that something as everyday as cleaning, like, actually has a whole world of science going on? We're going deep on this one, looking at this Carsey Institute article, and wow, it's pretty interesting stuff.
It really is. This isn't just about like soap suds and stuff. This Phil McGurk article, it's in Carcius. It really shows how the whole industry is changing, best practices even, and what's coming next in cleaning tech. It's pretty wild.
Okay, so before we go too far, I was really surprised by how the article talks about the whole history of cleaning.
Yeah.
Like, did you know way back when Egyptians were like total neat freaks?
Yeah. I mean, think about it. They're in the Nile River Valley, right? So they
Yeah.
figured out pretty early that being clean keeps you healthy, like way ahead of their time.
Makes sense. But then it seems like things kind of went off the rails. In the Middle Ages, they were all about perfume to cover up, well, everything. Can you imagine?
Yeah, talk about a contrast to the stuff we have now that just eliminates odors completely. It's interesting, though, even back then, making soap was like a closely guarded secret monasteries were the main place it was happening, surprisingly.
Monasteries, who knew? So soap starts as this kind of secret thing, then it's a luxury, then everyone's got it.
Yeah.
What's the big trend now, according to this Phil guy?
He makes a really strong point about sustainability being huge now. People buying this stuff, they're not messing around. They want their cleaning products tough on dirt, but good for the planet.
Which makes me think about everything under my sink.
Mhm.
What's actually in those formulas, like chemically?
Think of it like a bunch of different cleaners, each with their own thing they're good at. So surfactants, those are like your heavy lifters. They break down the, what do you call it? The tension between water and the grime so it can all get washed away.
So they basically make water even better at cleaning.
Exactly. Then you've got your solvents. They're the muscle, for sticky messes or grease. They actually dissolve that gunk instead of just like loosening it up.
Okay, so that's why some cleaners you got to really scrub with and some you don't. Is that where the article talking about mechanical action comes in?
Exactly. Sometimes you need that like scrubbing action to really help the cleaning stuff work, like at a tiny molecular level even.
Yeah,
Yeah,
roaches, yeah.
sometimes you got to put your back into it, to make sure that cleaner is really getting in there with the dirt. But going back to our cleaning crew, we can't forget about enzymes. Phil, he describes them like these little tiny machines, but like molecular machines that break down certain kinds of stains, really specific ones.
Oh, so that's what they mean in those ads when they say the cleaner eats stains.
Exactly. They're amazing for things like, let's say, you spill some juice or something, those organic stains, they go right for those molecules. It's pretty cool.
Like a cleaning SWAT team. Super targeted. This is making me look at my cleaning stuff totally differently now. Speaking of which, Phil doesn't sugarcoat things. He talks about how some of the usual cleaning agents, they're not exactly good for us or the planet, are they?
Nope. He's straight up about it. He brings up this really important point about the effects they can have on the environment and our health. We're talking about like when those harsh chemicals go down the drain, polluting the water, or how some cleaners can mess with the air quality, all that stuff.
It's easy to forget about that stuff, like
Yeah.
just because we don't see it happening directly doesn't mean it's not a big deal. What we use in our homes, our workplaces, it all adds up.
For sure. And I think that ties into why sustainability is becoming such a big deal, like Phil was talking about. People are wising up. They want products that work, but not at the cost of the planet. You know what I mean?
Totally. Which reminds me, he talks about biodegradable ingredients. What exactly does that mean when it comes to cleaning products?
So basically, those ingredients, they're made to break down naturally, not like some of the other stuff that just hangs around and can cause problems. It's like they do their job, cleaning your stuff, and then they disappear without harming anything.
Gotcha. So it's like they clean up and then clean themselves up too. Pretty neat. But then there's the whole non-toxic thing. What's the deal with that label?
Another piece of the puzzle for sure, non-toxic cleaners, they're designed to be safe for people. That's super important if you've got allergies or just in general, creating a healthy space.
It's like choosing a gentler option, but it still gets the job done. But hold on, Phil also talks about some pretty futuristic stuff like nanotechnology. That sounds like something straight out of Star Trek or something.
It does, right? But it's becoming real, man. Imagine cleaning products with these tiny, tiny particles so small they can get into any little crack or crevice and they just like pull the dirt right out. Super effective.
Cleaning at a microscopic level, that's pretty wild. So all this science is cool and all, but like, how does it actually apply to, say, someone who runs a cleaning business? What can they take away from all this?
That's where it gets really interesting. Phil, he's all about using this knowledge to get ahead in the business. Like, if you understand how different cleaning agents work, why they work, you can clean better and faster.
It's not just knowing what works, it's why it works.
Yep.
Right. That's smart.
Exactly. And that knowledge, it goes straight to your bottom line. For example, let's say you know which products are best for certain materials or certain types of stains. That means you're going to be way more efficient, use less product, and save money.
Work smarter, not harder. I like it. But how do you actually put that into practice? I mean, how does Phil suggest businesses make these changes?
He's big on training, making sure your staff knows their stuff. They got to be up to date on the science, the latest and greatest tech, all of it. That's how you get a team that's really good at what they do.
Makes sense. An educated team's a powerful team. But what about keeping up with everything? This industry is always changing, right?
He talks about that too, how important it is to always be learning. The cleaning industry never sits still. There's always something new, so you got to stay informed if you want to be competitive. New products, new tech, new regulations, it never ends.
So you got to be proactive, always learning and adapting.
Yeah.
That's cool. But I'm curious, out of all the stuff in this article, what really stood out to you? What got you thinking?
One thing that really hit me was how much he emphasized the connection between cleaning and how people see you, your image.
Interesting. What do you mean by that?
He's saying that a clean space, it's not just about looking good, it's about showing that you're professional, that you care about the details. That's huge for businesses, especially if first impressions are everything.
So like how clean your space is, it says something about you, it's part of your brand. And these days, every little thing counts.
Exactly. A sparkling, clean environment, it tells people, without even saying it, that you take pride in what you do, that you pay attention to detail.
So it's not just about checking off a box on your to-do list. It's bigger than that. It's about using cleaning to make your business look good and make your customers happy. I like that, but I feel like we're just scratching the surface here. Phil goes deep on this stuff in his article.
We covered a lot, that's for sure. He really gets into the business side of things, talking about specific rules and regulations, new trends popping up. It's pretty in-depth.
There's definitely a lot more to unpack here. But before we go any further, let's take a moment to hear from you, our listener. What are your thoughts on all this? This got you curious. Has this changed how you think about cleaning at all? We'll be back in a jiffy to dive even deeper into the fascinating world of cleaning science. So we've gone from ancient hygiene habits to the science of how things get clean, and even a little glimpse into the future of cleaning tech. But like always, knowing is only half the battle, right?
Yeah.
Putting it all into practice, that's the real challenge.
And that's where Phil's insights on what's happening in the industry are so helpful. He's really pushing businesses to think beyond just, let's clean this up, and more about how it all fits into their overall strategy.
Right, it's that whole idea of connecting cleanliness with being professional and how people see your brand. But he gets into some real specifics about the kinds of cleaning businesses are going for these days, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. He talks about this growing need for specialized cleaning, like it's not just a one-size-fits-all kind of thing anymore. Clients want solutions that are tailored to them.
Like becoming the expert in one specific area. Got any examples?
Think about how big green cleaning has gotten. As Phil points out, those businesses who are certified in using those eco-friendly methods and products, they have a leg up on everyone else.
Because it shows they're on board with what people care about, sustainability, health, all that. It's smart marketing, really.
Totally. And it goes beyond just the products themselves. Phil's big on efficient processes, too. Businesses that can really show they're serious about reducing waste, being environmentally friendly, they're the ones who'll stand out.
It's one thing to say it, but you got to back it up, too. All this talk about efficiency and specialization, though, makes me wonder about, like, the people doing the work. How does Phil see that changing with all this new tech coming out?
This is a good point, and he actually addresses it head on. He says that while we've got more automation, robots, all that, you still can't replace good old-fashioned human skill.
Because a robot can't use common sense.
Right.
Or notice those little details that make a difference.
Exactly. You're always going to need people who know their stuff, who can walk into a situation, see what needs to be done, handle any curveballs, and make judgment calls, things a machine just can't do.
It's like that saying, technology should make our lives easier, not take over completely. Which makes me think, for those of us who are maybe feeling a little overwhelmed by all this talk about the industry changing so fast, what's Phil's advice on keeping up?
He's a big believer in always being open to learning new things, and I agree. Whether it's those industry conferences, reading articles like this one in CarCI, even online courses, you got to stay in the loop.
So be proactive, invest in your own knowledge. I like how Phil makes it seem exciting, not like a chore.
For sure. He sees it as an opportunity not just to grow your own business, but to lift up the whole industry.
Now that's something I can get behind. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the main takeaway is don't underestimate the cleaning world. It's not boring, it's not standing still, it's changing constantly. And if you're willing to dig in a little, there's some awesome opportunities out there.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And if you're even a little bit curious after listening to all this, go read Phil McGurk's full article in CarSci. It's got so much good stuff, and it really shows you how interesting the world of cleaning really is.
Think of it as your cleaning science homework. Until next time, keep your spaces sparkling and your minds even sharper.